Greetings everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Donovan, also known as I'm Hard for Harbop on both Instagram and YouTube. And today I'm going to be going over some of my most recent pickups that I made over the past, I would say 4 to 5 months or so. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I filmed a video. Yeah, it's been crazy. Life's been really busy. Yeah, so I actually finished school around June, mid-June or so, and then I had summer school until July, mid-July, and then over the past maybe month and a half or so, I've just been kind of working a lot just to, pay for my tuition that's coming up, and then I've just been spending the remainder of any disposable income I have on records. But yeah, I've been doing some big purchases. I just purchased a new turntable, amp, and a pair of speakers for my new place. I just got a new place, moved in with some roommates, and so while I will keep my current setup here at my parents' house, that setup will be down there. Yeah, so I purchased a Yamaha YPB4 turntable that is I believe it's a belt-driven turntable. I have a Signet MR 5.0 on it. Would love to put maybe a mono cart, that'd be kind of cool. For my amp, I am running a Onkyo A45 integrated amplifier that is rated, I believe, at 70 watts per channel. Pretty heavy piece of equipment, at least considering that it's kind of older. I would expect it to be a little bit lighter, especially at the price point I got it at, but it's a pretty hefty piece of equipment. And then the speakers that I have are a pair of Bauer & Wilkins DM603 S2s. So those are gonna be the speakers that I'm having. They're great, got them for a really good deal, and so yeah, really nice. But anyways, yeah, I haven't been posting a lot lately just because I've been busy. I've been more active on Instagram. I've been meeting more people on the VC, and then I've been posting more on there in terms of records. My friend Ryan, also known as A Man in His Music, if you guys don't follow him, go ahead and check him out. If you watch his videos, you probably watch my videos as well, and vice versa. But another really cool guy in the VC, same age as me, huge Coltrane fan. He is actually doing a video soon about him completing Coltrane's entire discography. So studio albums, live sessions, bootlegs, everything like that. Yeah, he and I actually started a podcast together. It's called the In the Pocket Podcast. Super cool. We uploaded episode 1 maybe 3 weeks ago now, and I've just been really busy. So him and I, and then we had a special guest for episode 2. We haven't been able to narrow down a time to schedule a meeting to talk about and just record the episode itself. But yeah, we will be posting soon. You guys can expect that within the next month or so, or the next coming weeks at least. Yeah, but anyways, one of the biggest goals that I had prior to coming into this year was really getting more Lee Morgan, right? I've sort of, in terms of sheer quantity of records, I've definitely narrowed it down this year. I feel like I spent around maybe less than what I did last year, but I'm buying records that I really love. I've noticed throughout the past, I think, year and a half or so with college, I've just been so busy. And so during the school year, I don't have time to listen to a record every single night, you know what I'm saying? And so I think this time around last year, I had about 800 records or so. And then now I've kind of narrowed it down to 400. I have about 100, maybe 100, 150 records over there in the corner that I'm gonna sell or just give away. So yeah, I'm really trying to fine tune the amount of records that I have in my collection. I find that when I have a shelf full of bangers, it's really rewarding when I'm just blindly searching through my shelf and I just pick a random record out and I'm like, oh, this is amazing, I'll play this, right? I think that's super nice, especially when you're tired. You don't want to sift through your shelf and flip through the records and try to find a record that you want. And yeah, I think that's the best part about having a collection that's just all killer, no filler. You really don't have to waste time looking through your shelf, and it really just enhances your listening experience, right? I think as a collector, it sucks when you just have records on the shelf that you don't listen to. I hate that feeling, but obviously, it happens to all of us, so yeah. So the next 4 are going to be Lee Morgan-led sessions, right? I forgot to preface that. But this right here was, honestly, could not have this without the help of my friend Ryan, also known as A Man in His Music. I mentioned him many times in this video, go ahead and check him out. But he and his dad went to his local record store, and I say local record store as if it's like 10 minutes away. It's like an hour and a half from where he lives, I think. But he went out there for their 10-year anniversary sale because they dropped some crazy heat. They dropped like an original Lexington Ave introducing Kenny Burrell, and then they had a copy of Joe Henderson Page 1, and then Art Farmer meets Gigi Grice. They had like the coffee soundtrack, so if you're into like funk soundtracks, you'll know what that is. And amongst those records, they had this album right here, Lee Morgan's Cornbread. Ryan sent me the post that they did showcasing this record, and he said, do you want me to pick this up for you? Is this something you're interested in? And I'm like, dude, thank you so much. And I think the most important thing throughout this entire transaction is the importance of forming relationships and making friends, because your friends will look out for you. They might already have a record, but if they see another copy and they want to upgrade, or they just know that you would want it, then by all means, it's to your benefit. But yeah, right here, Lee Morgan's Cornbread, very happy with this. I've been wanting this record for so long. I never picked Tone Poet. I don't know why. I think when it released, I was in high school still, so I didn't have the money to spend on like a $35, $40 record. But now that I'm working and I have some funds from selling off a bunch of stuff, I decided to pick this one up. This is a Liberty press. The wax is really clean. I'll go ahead and show you guys that. The wax is just very clean. Plays amazingly. There is some surface noise, obviously, but like I said, nothing crazy. The jacket does have some ring wear. That's typical with Cornbread. This album is just susceptible to ring wear. That's just how it is. But very happy with this. 4 out of the 5 tracks, if I'm not mistaken, are all Lee Morgan original compositions, which is great. I think listening to something like this and then listening to something like Indeed or like some of his earlier work is kind of cool, because there he was just a raw, very talented player, but here he's not just a player, he's a writer in his own right. And yeah, really cool, amazing record. Very happy to finally have this. But yeah, my favorite tracks are probably the title track, Cornbread. Ciora is great. Our Man Higgins is amazing. But yeah, just an amazing album. I would say that and the next record I'm going to show you are tied for favorite Lee Morgan album for sure. This one right here was also purchased from a individual on Instagram, Alex Dubois, aka Jet Spinnin' on Instagram. I think he's from Pennsylvania. Hooked me up on this right here. So he had this on his selling page, but no one really bought it, and it sat for maybe like a month, maybe over a month. And I sort of inquired and asked him to send me some clips, and he gave me an amazing deal on this. So like I said, here's the jacket. Search for the New Land. Really nice. No seams, no splits. Awesome. The only thing is there is some waviness to the jacket, and I think that's the reason why he got me a good deal on this. But there's like no ring wear. Obviously, like there is slight, but no ring wear at all around Lee's face. Perfect. Just an amazing jacket. This is an original stereo press, and I hear a lot of people say they like the mono. I've never listened to a mono copy of this. I've only listened to stereo because it's the only copy I've ever had. But I really like the separation and the sound stage of this, and that's sort of typical with a lot of these like later Blue Note, like that's those 60s Blue Note titles. The stereo pressings sound amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. But here's the wax. Really, really nice. There are some marks, as you can see. There you go, you guys can see that. But it plays really well. Like, I can't... There's some surface noise, obviously, but none of these pop. There's not a lot of pops or anything like that. It just plays with a slight crackle, and that's sort of it. But, yeah, search for the new land. Awesome. But the next two are going to be Lee Morgan-led sessions, like I said, but they're going to be 1500 series. So the first one is Lee Morgan Indeed, also known as Presenting Lee Morgan. This is going to be his debut on Blue Note. One of the most rare, well, probably one of the most rare Blue Note titles, especially, you know, just, I think this is the rarest Lee Morgan title in Blue Note's catalog. In its original pressing format, right? When it goes on sale, it commands crazy prices. Even though I'm a huge Lee Morgan fan, I don't think it's worth that much. To me personally, the compositions aren't as good as some of his later work. Even like some of the other 50s, you know, late 50s titles that he did, not as good. I would say, you know, for a sophomore album, it's pretty good. You know, this is the second album he recorded, or released actually. I think he recorded this one first, and then he recorded Introducing, but Savoy released Introducing Lee Morgan before this one. The lineup: Lee Morgan on trumpet, obviously, Clarence Sharp on alto sax, Horace Silver on piano, Wilbur Ware on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on the drums. Clarence Sharp, not really familiar. I do know that, I think in the liner notes it says that his nickname is C Sharp, so Clarence Sharp, C Sharp. But yeah, you can definitely see some of the idols that the people that he idolized. You can see the influence in here, especially, you know, Dizzy and, you know, Fats Navarro, Clifford Brown. You know, you really hear those influences when you're listening to this album. The only thing that's really weird is the title of the track, Gaza Strip. When you hear that, you would assume that has like some sort of Middle Eastern influence. But it doesn't. It's just a normal, like, you know, just standard hard bop track. Yeah, so I got this one off of a Japanese seller. Unfortunately, he decided to ship the record inside the jacket for like a few thousand miles, and so there's like splits everywhere. But what are you gonna do about it? The wax is not that bad, but I did get a good deal on this, so, you know, I'm not complaining. The next one is going to be probably my favorite Lee Morgan title out of the 1500 series, or late 50s era. It's going to be Lee Morgan Volume 3. Like I mentioned earlier, this is probably when he was like 18 or 19. Most notable track is I Remember Clifford, an ode to Clifford Brown, who I mentioned was one of his idols, definitely a mentor. Yeah, really nice. Again, this is a United Artists press. So the jacket, this one is a lot cleaner. Again, I bought this off a Japanese seller, but this seller shipped the record outside the jacket, and so this is really, really clean. I love how Reed Miles did the cover on this. I'm assuming he just took the negative and he just copy and pasted it 3 times, but still really cool. As much as this is a fan favorite from a lot of Lee Morgan fans, he's amazing on this album, but I think the unsung hero is 100% Benny Golson, right? All of these are his compositions. Beautiful, beautiful condition. The wax is even better. The wax is really clean. There's like some paper like scuffs, but as you guys can see like right there on the right hand side. But yeah, super nice. Really, really nice, really clean. Pretty quiet, not gonna lie. I've had some of these United Artists press and some of them aren't that quiet, but this is great. Like I said, Benny Golson deserves all the accolades. This is an amazing album. Again, another expensive Lee Morgan album. Very, very expensive if you're gonna get in its original format. This one I see a lot more than Indeed, but it still commands crazy prices. But yeah, really, really nice. This is probably my biggest want for the year in terms of Lee Morgan titles, and I finally got it. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Yeah, super nice. Okay, so that was kind of it for Lee Morgan-led sessions. The last 3 are not going to be Lee Morgan sessions, but this next one does have him as a sideman, and it's Mode for Joe. Prior to this year, I didn't have any Joe Henderson. His stuff is just really hard to find. It's been reissued on the Classic series, I just never picked it up. But this is an amazing one. I mentioned earlier, let's see, with the volume 3, the motif of like, you know, the stacking the 3 pictures. This one is the same picture, it's just like panned and reversed. But this one right here is Reed Miles. What he did was he took 3 different negatives. So this is Joe Henderson holding the cigarette. This one is him inhaling. This is him exhaling. But what he did was he took the 3 negatives and he taped them together. He basically wrote down the notes like, hey, make sure when you print this, it's stacked. So the negatives are stacked. And so super cool. I'm a design major, by the way, so when I see stuff like this, it really like excites me. I mean, I love the music, but seeing stuff like this is really cool. And yeah, I don't know, I just get excited over this stuff. But Mode for Joe, really cool. Side 1 is perfect. It's an amazing track list. Shade of Jade is the most notable track, but Mode for Joe and then Black, really nice. Side 2 is okay as well. I would say the last 2 or so are kind of hit or miss for me, but side 1 is amazing. This is a Liberty press, so 66, I believe. I don't know if the original press was pressed at Plastilight, but here it is, super clean, no seam splits, corners are intact. Yeah, so it has the Liberty jacket, super clean. The wax is really clean too. I bought this. This is another one I bought from a Japanese seller. This one and the next one are bought from Japanese sellers, but yeah, it has some of that haze on it. It doesn't affect the play, but it does have that haze, like that. I'm pretty sure it's like someone tried cleaning it or whatever, but yeah, really nice. The record's really clean. Again, Liberty press. I would definitely say that I paid up a little bit just because it's really clean, but it sounds amazing. And I definitely do not want to pay up for an original when I can just pay a fraction of that for a really clean Liberty. And the last one I bought from a Japanese seller is one of the albums that I really wanted early on in my collecting. I was put onto this record by Dylan from Old Records, I think like 4 years ago, when I was in high school. And I actually found this album on a cassette 3 years ago. I found the cassette and it still had like the Goodwill sticker on it, and it said like October 30th, 2020. And so I was a junior in high school still, or was I junior or was I senior? I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I finally found this record. The 3-year or 4-year search of finding this record has finally come to an end. Not the greatest condition in terms of like jacket, but not bad. This is a Canadian press. I have a few CTI records pressed in Canada and they all sound great. I would probably say though that the jacket might be a little bit more flimsy. I don't know. Maybe it's just like placebo, but yeah, really nice. Red Clay. This used to be a really nice budget-friendly record. Now it's kind of going for anywhere from like 60 to 100 bucks depending on the condition and the pressing. While this is a Canadian press, it's actually a promo. It's a white label promo, so it's like an advanced copy, and it's really clean. I know one of the biggest issues with getting a record like this is the record is not clean. This album has been played. It's really hard to find a copy that's nice and clean, and then now with, you know, inflation and people are finally trying to get this album now, it's just getting harder to find for an affordable price that's clean. But yeah, that lineup is insane. Freddie, Hubbard, Joe Henderson, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Lenny White. Yeah, amazing lineup. Lenny White played on Woody Shaw's Blackstone Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. I know Ken McAuliffe, he just did an interview with Lenny White, and that's really cool. But that cover is super cool. Red Clay, Freddie Hubbard on the back, blowing away. This came out in, I think, 1970, I think, or at least it was recorded in 1970. Yeah, it was recorded over 3 days in 1970, and yeah, super nice. I would say one of the best records on CTI for sure. And then the last one is a record that I've really been getting into lately. Yeah, like no pun intended, but Yusef Lateef, Into Something. This is a record I've been getting really into. I really enjoy Yusef's like prestige, new jazz stuff. This is a like reissue. It's on the Blue Trident label, and I've been really liking a lot of these titles on that label. It sounds great. They're all RVG stamped, and they go for like a fraction of the price. But yeah, this is really nice. Bought this recently, and I'm very disappointed that I haven't purchased it sooner. This is an amazing album. Rashid, honestly, this album front to back is amazing. It's very rare for me to say like I love an album front to back. Every track is a 10 out of 10 banger. But this album right here is just amazing. And one of the things I really enjoy about these new jazz titles is the album cover. They're all the same and they all basically have the same format. It's just really cool. I don't know why I kind of gravitate towards it. Really nice. Yusef Lateef. I need to get more Yusef Lateef in my life, but he plays a tenor sax, flute, and oboe. They spelled flute incorrectly on here. Barry Harris is on piano, Herman Wright on bass, and then Elvin Jones on drums. The track Rashid is in honor of his son. I think he says that in the liner notes or something. The opening Rashid means wise in Arabic, and it also means, and is also the name of Yusef's 18-year-old son. Yeah, so it's really cool. I think it's really awesome when you see artists honor their loved ones or someone important in their life. So yeah, this is a really good record. Would highly recommend. The Blue Trident label press, not that expensive, really affordable. You can find it for like under 50 bucks. But yeah, those are sort of my pickups for the last couple months. Yeah, thank you so much for being so patient with me. I know I haven't posted consistently, but I have been picking up, so I will post more. That was sort of like the first half of my pickups. I do have like, I think maybe 10 more records I want to show off or so. But yeah, those are my pickups. I really want to thank all you guys for your support. Everyone on my Instagram is amazing. Everyone who comments on my videos is amazing. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.